Hey Gemini, it's Romy here. Welcome to my channel. This is your November monthly intuitive reading. If you're Gemini sun, rising or moon, it may well resonate for you. If it does, please go ahead, drop me a like and a comment. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And you can also join me for the extended version by clicking on the downward arrow next to the video description. It will take you through to my website and a link to purchase. I hope you enjoy this month's reading. Let's go ahead and see what's coming out for you. Hey Gemini, it's November, so we have Scorpio season in your 6th house. Beautiful new moon on the 27th, 28th of October, giving you the chance for a complete reinvention or a transformation around the way that you're approaching things in your life. So this is a great restart energy, I feel, to really get a handle on any kind of bad habits or routines that are just not working for you anymore. We also have Mercury retrograde from the 31st of October through to the 18th of November. This can be a tougher transit for the sign of Gemini because you're ruled by Mercury. However, it's also, along with this 6th house activity, a beautiful time to really review, reassess and put powerful new foundations in place that are going to support your well-being. And I think people are really going to be looking towards you for the changes that you're making this month, Gemini, and it feels that actually it's helping to bring a better balance in and more harmony for you. 3 of Cups energy is emerging, and I do see that this is you standing a little bit elevated on the staircase here, because I think that the changes that have happened in your world and that mercurial energy that you have to be able to process and to work through and to come to conclusions and then implement sometimes can be at a much faster pace than a lot of the other signs. And so there is something about you kind of leading the way and showing other people how to move through these transits and these energy cycles and kind of being unapologetic in what that takes. There's a need for a sense of community and like support around you right now, Gemini, and yet that could be at odds with how you're feeling. So for some of you, I think there's this sense of like almost wanting that isolated energy to do the deep inner work that you need, and at the same time feeling like you also need support or you want to connect into others to kind of share those experiences or to have a sense of like unity coming in. I also get a sense of celebration that comes through with this. Just with the pumpkins coming through, it's quite fortuitous that we're just at this time coming up to Halloween on the 31st. We have that beautiful new moon energy on the 28th, so it's right on the kind of fringes of that October 31st. So I feel like there could be some kind of celebration or something that you are in a position to be able to acknowledge, either within yourself because it's a change internally or a shift that's happened that you really recognize and you're seeing a physical manifestation of it, or there's something that's coming in. You know, that new moon has got an opposition to Uranus, which is, you know, the planet of unexpected opportunity, surprise, and real like quick dramatic shift. And together with Scorpio, the ability for like really powerful dramatic change is quite strong. So through this month we have a full moon coming on the 12th of November, which is in the sign of Taurus. So Taurus is 12th house activity for you, Gemini, which is about healing. It's about the endings and closing off of a cycle. And I have this intuitive kind of message around November for you, Gemini, that it's going to be a tremendous month of self-healing. I really feel that. I think that you are reconciling such a lot of what's taking place for you this year and really ready to kind of shift it and clear it out. But in that self-healing kind of nurturing energy, beautiful 6 of Cups coming in here, you are you're processing things at such a deep level that there's a fundamental change happening in you that I think you're going to look back on and say that was like a real moment in time where I felt like I completely reinvented myself. So 6 of Cups energy, there is this reflection, you know, there's this looking back, there's this consideration of what you've been through, old memories surfacing. there's a tenderness that comes through. And again, I just want to say that there's a really healing quality that I have for you in November. And there's a lot of water coming up here with the 3 and the 6. Now, as we're in retrograde season, of course, with 6 of Cups, something could be returning, or you are revisiting a situation with somebody or something in your life. And I feel like there's more compassion, there's more understanding that is coming through for you. Even if you are in a place where you're not necessarily ready to forgive, you can kind of, I feel like we're in a process of transcending. We're moving away from ego-based thinking into that spiritual, divine way of understanding why things are playing out in our world and what that has to teach us. And so there's this sense of you being able to forgive or to let go a lot of old memories or attachments. And it's so cathartic. I just have such a kind of cleansing rebirth energy that comes through with you. And that 6th house is about the self-care side of things as well, isn't it? And how you want to be of service. And I think you're going to be making a lot of changes through this month of November as we come into the end of the year. When we move into Sagittarius energy on the 22nd, it's into 7th house for you, which is about partnerships, connections. So there is going to be a focus in and around the relationships in your life, whether it be friendships, whether it be connected to children, or those key, personal or professional relationships. And, for me, this is about you understanding what it is that you need and the change that you have to make in order to bring that about. So Hierophant comes in with a sense of commitment. That's what I'm getting really strongly with this card today, commitment. So what are you committing to and why are you committing to it? That's the question that I feel like you're going to be asking yourself a lot through this month. And is it right for me? And if I am committing to this, what changes do I need to make in my world to make this happen? Because there's a sacrifice that feels like it's got to come in order to realise something. So where you're putting your time, energy and focus to realise something bigger, something greater, Hierophant comes in with an energy of, real spiritual wisdom. Whether it's you being that kind of that guide or someone stepping into your world that's really illuminating a path and showing you a way forward. Hierophant is also Taurus energy, which is kind of interesting with the 12th house new moon in Taurus. But you could also be dealing with a Taurus in your life with this. Now, for me, this is about the changing of values that you're having through this month, Gemini. There's a radical change in you and how you're looking at the world, and then what you're deciding to commit to and why. And I feel like once you've made that decision, there's a state of permanence around it, but I'm going to put a kind of a footnote with that, because when we're in retrograde and we are coming to those decisions about what we want and why, there's always a sense of needing to revisit once we move direct, to tweak, make adjustments or change. So I think I'm going to say to you that the decisions and choices that you're coming to that are significant, be prepared to come back around to them, not to completely transform them, but to just make sure they're fitting in the right way, and not to be afraid of that. I don't see that as negative at all. This is so making sense to me. 6 of Swords energy coming in, because it's like a rite of passage. I think, this is you hitting a point in the year where you are ready to move away from anything that's toxic, any drama, any troubles, any turmoil, any challenge and conflict. And there's this desire and sense for new horizons, for more peace in your life, for more balance in your life. The way with which you are choosing to prioritize things is changing. I think for some of you, symbolically, you'll be either making a trip or looking to plan a trip or just experience some different energy through this month of November, and that's going to help with some of the transformational work that's taking place, particularly in Scorpio season. I think that's really necessary. I think if you have been experiencing emotional distance from certain individuals, or you are choosing to emotionally distance yourself from people or a specific person, I think that there are reasons behind that, but you also, it feels to me like we'll come full circle with that. Okay, we're going to come full circle with that. The sixes that are showing up strongly already in the reading for me is also about a sense of recognition, success that's coming. And, you know, success can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. So, you know, on a personal level, Gemini, where you're looking for some kind of validation, and that could be the success in a relationship, that could be the success in work that you're doing, or, you know, changes that you're trying to make to your health, your body, your, you know, your routine, self-care. You know, this is showing me that we have some kind of emergence of change that you are able to really recognize and say, yes, that's what I've been looking for. That's the physical manifestation of what I need. Okay, Queen of Swords energy coming up. Beautiful, right at the center of the reading. So for me, this is you. Of course, it could be connecting into an Aquarius or a Libra energy, but I feel Queen of Swords is the embodiment of you feeling in your power, understanding the choices and decisions that you're making and why, doing a lot of inner work, allowing the transformation to take place, not being frightened of it, not being afraid to make difficult choices and decisions that are going to be right for you, and really cutting away a lot of stuff that isn't healthy for you anymore. So I think for those of you that are trying to let go of difficult attachments or, you know, unhealthy kind of obsessive tendencies, this is for me saying that actually through this month of November we're making a lot of progress in that way as well. I do think for some of you, you might be coming across as a little bit more difficult to approach, a little bit more aloof or cooler, you know, together with that emotional distance of the six and then the Queen coming in. Bear in mind this could be somebody around you rather than yourself, Gemini, but certainly I feel that there is a need for this, and it isn't a permanent state. Okay, that's what I'm going to say to you. It's not a permanent state. So allow it through this month of November, because there's so much inner work and change happening. And remember, you're leading the way. So you have to do the difficult stuff to show other people that there is a way through this, okay? And maybe that, you know, that other people is a specific person, or maybe it's a group of people, or what you're doing within your business, or showing your family. But the work that you're doing might require you to close yourself off, or to just be at peace, you know, within your own energy just for a time. You're not abandoning anyone, and no one's abandoning you. I need to say that, okay? The Hierophant is coming in and just saying the work that we're doing here has purpose. It has purpose. It has divine purpose. Okay, so you're on a path, you're on a trajectory that's being very strongly guided through this month, Gemini. Interestingly, on the 27th of November, we have Neptune moving direct in Pisces. It's been retrograde since June 21st. So that's in your 10th house of work, purpose, leadership, making progress, long-term visions and goals. So the last few months, you've really been in that state of creative thinking, visualizing, thinking about the dreams and the way with which that's showing itself in your physical reality or not. And I think that the moving direct of that helps to instigate and reinitiate this quest. This is what I'm getting through with this sense of a quest coming in, and you opening up to that beautiful creativity that you have to be able to manifest and create new paths in your world. Now, for those of you in relationships, this could be water sign energy we're picking up here, as Scorpio, Pisces or Cancer, and certainly denotes like this energy of like a new offer or something coming in, someone showing interest or presenting themselves to you in a romantic way. But this also, if we're looking at work, could be a new business proposal or a new offer coming in. For me, with the Knight of Cups, although there's a beautiful, like romantic and idealistic quality, I always want to see some grounded earth energy around it. And I think actually with that Queen of Swords, you are being incredibly discerning about what's showing up in your world and making a decision about what that means to you and how you choose to act upon it. So there's nothing impulsive going on here for me. This is a quiet contemplation and a sense of you really drawing on your wisdom to say, is this right for me? Is this right for me based on everything that I've been through, the changes that I've made for myself and what I'm now looking for? Is this commitment from this proposal going to work? And I think, you know, where we're at in this moment, you're still deep in that processing. You know, this is a journey and we've not quite arrived at that destination and the full realization of it. But that Queen of Swords for me is your ally on the journey through this month. Definitely. Okay, so Two of Pentacles energy coming in for me is talking about choice. It's talking about balance and the reprioritization that's happening in your world. You're trying to move yourself between multiple pathways right now is what I feel, Gemini. Probably trying to keep an awful lot of people happy and spinning multiple things. Is there any time for you? Maybe that break is sorely needed, right? Six of Swords talks about time away or a short trip or travel. So maybe there's just that need to prioritize some time away for yourself. And actually with both Three of Cups and Two of Pentacles, there is a sense of fun, lightness that comes in that I feel might be needed for you. Queen of Swords sometimes needs to loosen up a bit, right? She can get quite serious and in her mind a lot. So there is this sense of the guides coming in and wanting to break that up a little bit and give you some respite almost. I think for those of you that are looking at, you know, the improvement of resources and abundance around you, Two of Pentacles for me is suggesting a time when you're still trying to find the right balance. But we've got beautiful growth coming in with the Six of Cups, and I also feel this burst of creativity that's shown with the Knight of Cups shows a commitment to something that is going to support you moving forward to draw in the abundance that you need. Okay, if you are looking at relationships, I think you're still in the process of weighing something up. The infinity loop that shows here for me, and also if you look at the kind of stormy waters that's shown, does suggest that I feel like I'm in a loop, I'm in a cycle with something. And maybe I'm being caught in a kind of a riptide, or I'm trying to like move past this. What's nice though for me is the Six of Swords is actually showing that movement away, the turbulent times, you know, but it's still at the root of the reading here. So there's still an undercurrent of it to be careful of, is what I want to say. So, you know, use that wisdom that the Queen is bringing through for you to say, you know, what is it that I need to do to move beyond this so I don't fall back into an old pattern with something, right? But you're weighing something up here. There's choice to come and there's a reprioritization that will take place. Okay, Seven of Cups energy coming in. You have a lot of water coming through for November, Gemini. So for me, again, we're talking about choices. I'm also linking this into the transit of Neptune moving direct in Pisces, because I think this is a very Piscean Neptunian energy that we pick up here. And it's about you, I actually feel like I'm going to take the sense that you're going to be in a position through the month of November to make some clear choices. And I think that's good, right? It's because I think for so long, many of you have probably felt quite restricted and that you didn't have that, the gift of choice. Well, now you do. Sometimes that can come with its own challenge, because then you start to worry about whether it's the right choice. But I think what the guides are saying right now is like you have the ability to decide what's right for you now. And we're not just giving you one option. You know, there's a sense of you being given like multiple pathways forward. Each one will be the right one, because whatever choice you make, I feel is going to be right for you. That power that's emanating out from the center of your reading is really strong here. And actually, I can understand why Queen of Swords is coming up for you so strongly, because you've got water on both sides of you here. So there is a lot, and you know, and on either side here, the water and the Six of Swords and what the Knight of Cups is delivering. So, you know, you're navigating your way through some real emotional stuff, Gemini, and I think that you need that clarity of thought so that you don't get sucked under, right? Just want to say, with regards to the romantic side of things, whatever this Knight of Cups energy is bringing in, there's a little bit of confusion or uncertainty around this. So, you know, with this retrograde period, I definitely think it'll be something you'll be revisiting to re-establish if what was presented is real, if the commitment that was offered is sound, and if it's grounded. So there's almost a delay in a decision, I feel. That's what comes over, actually. Okay, so we have King of Pentacles energy coming in. This could be a Capricorn, Virgo or Taurus that you're dealing with. Interestingly, we have Taurus coming through with the Hierophant as well, so it feels like this earth sign's symbolic. So if you have this earth sign coming forward with something, I feel like there is a delay to an acceptance of that offer, or certainly a contemplation that comes through. I think that's necessary because you're weighing something up around it. Is it true and is it sound? Actually, yeah, I feel like it is. I think there's an honesty that's coming through with King of Pentacles, and as you move into Sagittarius energy in that 7th house of partnerships, there is a need for you to bond and to connect and to establish something that feels trusted and secure for you, okay? But it's not without you going through that decision-making process that's really necessary at the moment, Gemini, just to make sure that you're making the right decision for you. Okay, so I'm just going to have a look at your oracle cards, see what shows up with these for this month of November. Okay. Long night, moon, darkness. Right, okay. I think this makes sense to me. I mean, we've you know, that sense of like connecting into that kind of water of the moon links into all the emotional stuff that I feel is going on. There is this vulnerability showing up with the rabbit here, and a need to be able to create, and in order to create and to draw upon that real divine spiritual understanding of like going within. And I think this is with you right through the end of the year. So, you know, remember all that 8th house stuff that's going on with Saturn and Pluto for you is so transformative, and it's really taking you into your shadow self to do some very deep, deep work. But the radiance that's going to emerge from all of this purging and cleansing is so powerful, so powerful. This vulnerability, I feel, is temporary, and actually it's funny that I say that, because even though I'm getting this vulnerability, this sort of tenderness that comes through, I just keep getting drawn back to the Queen of Swords in the center of the reading and going, no, she's fine, she's absolutely fine, she's rooted, she's together, she's poised, she's full of grace and wisdom and strength. So the allowing of the vulnerability to let the emotions flow isn't going to derail you. You're not getting sucked under here. You're holding the line, you're holding the energy of everything that is going on in your world this month, Gemini. That's powerful. Okay. Oh, of course, power. Lovely. So that's you, right in the center. Power can bring about that sense of needing to cause destruction, like needing to break things, needing to change things. You're so ready for that. You're ready for this big, powerful change in your world. So you have to let that storm take place, whether that's happening internally, even though to the outside world, I think nobody would know because you're so poised and keeping it together. But even if that is happening within, or there's changes to your external world that are bringing about profound shifts. Remember, Scorpio's dealing with themes of power. And that's in your 6th house. So what you're changing in your world, the new structure that you're putting into place through this cycle is so that you have more power and more control in your world. And what's coming in, who's coming in, how you're spending your time and why. So yeah, I'm feeling like you've got this really beautiful shift taking place, Gemini, and that's going to impact on relationships and connections. So for those of you that are looking for answers around love from this reading, then I'm going to say to you that you need to stand back and let stuff play out around you, but you need to be really careful to think through whatever is coming your way or being offered. Okay, don't be afraid of being still, is what I want to say. So I hope you've enjoyed that for the month of November, Gemini. If you'd like to join me for the extended reading, we're going to go another 20 minutes or so. We're going to see what comes up in the clarifying cards, and we're going to go into a lot more depth with what has come up and help you a little further. So I'm beginning with the Three of Cups with the Emperor. Interesting dynamic there. Again, very powerful. And the Hermit. Okay. Could be dealing with a Virgo energy there, and that Emperor could be dealing with the Cardinal sign. Okay, Six of Cups. Lovely. Magician. Again, it's your card, Gemini. I love this. You're coming up so strongly in your own reading this month, which I love for you. Magician is also bringing up the King of Cups. Interesting. Could be a water sign that's in the mix here. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Oh, dropping cards everywhere here. Okay. Hierophant is bringing up the Hanged Man. And a couple more fell out here. I'm going to take Three of Wands and I'm going to take Eight of Swords. Okay, Six of Swords is bringing through the Three of Pentacles. What is this rite of passage bringing? New foundations being laid, new foundations being built, and birthing something new. Oh, wonderful. The world coming in for you, Gemini. Real completion. Ending of a cycle. Beautiful. Six of Wands energy coming in over your Queen of Swords. Success and victory happening. And Justice, okay. There's a lovely rebalancing taking place this month. Could be a Libra energy you're dealing with also. I'm going to bring in Temperance over that Knight of Cups. Okay, Ten of Wands. There's a timing element, I feel, with that offer or proposal coming through. Four of Wands. Okay, interesting. I've got Judgment coming through with the Two of Pentacles here. Okay, another Seven of Cups. Really interesting here. Being presented with a choice and maybe feeling slightly overwhelmed with it, Gemini. What does it bring about though? Nine of Cups and Knight of Pentacles. I'm going to go with that too. Let's clarify this. Seven of Cups, Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Knight of Wands coming in. Interesting. Fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius or Aries. A lot more security happening at the root of your reading here. So maybe that's what you're looking to bring into your worlds. Eight of Cups. Walking away from something. Turning your back on something. Okay, Seven of Pentacles coming in. So there is contemplation happening. Maybe a slight sense of restless energy or dissatisfaction, but also like allowing the time and something to come to fruition, which I feel will be worthwhile for you, but the wait is painful, I feel. Okay, good. Eight of Wands, clarifying that. So the period of waiting is going to be over. All right, I'm just going to clarify this Oracle card. Oh, I love this for you. Queen of Swords, again. And let's do one more for power. course, Chariot. Gemini, thank you so much for joining me. If you want to carry on with the extended reading, you can go ahead, click on the downward arrow next to the description, and you'll find a link to my website. I look forward to continuing this narrative with you. Otherwise, have a fantastic November. Sending you love and blessings. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. I really appreciate you. Take care.